Welcome to the Charlotte Content Marketing Podcast. My name is Andrew Rusnak. I'm the founder of Charlotte Content Marketing, located in Charlotte, North Carolina. Today, what I want to talk about is giving people a reason to care, giving your buyers, giving customers, giving the buying public at large a reason to care. And what I mean by that is you can advertise all day long. I mean, the entire internet, the entire media industrial complex, television, radio, magazines, newspapers, websites, Google itself, all of that is built on advertising. There's that famous clip, Mark Zuckerberg was dragged before Congress, and I can't remember who it was. It was Orrin Hatch or somebody like that. I don't remember. But it was an older guy who didn't seem to quite understand what Facebook was and how it worked. And he says to Mark Zuckerberg, so you know, how you're doing all this stuff, how are you going to make any money off of this? And Zuckerberg is like perplexed. He says, we sell ads, Senator. You know, the entirety of the media is built on advertising. Ads are everywhere. I don't know, there are statistics out there, but like you see one ad every, or you see like 50 ads an hour or a minute or something like that, you know, between billboards and TV ads and stuff on your phone and everything. So advertising is everywhere, and you can have the slickest, coolest ad, you can have the most vibrant colors, and everything could be like explosions and fireworks and Hollywood effects, and your video could be flipping all over the place and have CGI, AI, you know, the neatest stuff in the world. But does anybody even care? And as time goes by, it gets harder and harder to get people to care, because it's like we've reached a point of advertising overload. I mean, like going back to Facebook, just thinking about that. You know, Facebook, I mean, I got on Facebook back in 2008. And so I wasn't like one of the early adopters or anything like that. So I don't remember what Facebook was like before ads came around. We did have MySpace back in my day. That's how old I am. But, you know, Facebook used to be like, you'd get on, you would see updates, friends, family, all that kind of thing. And now it's like the vast majority of everything you see on there is nothing but ads. And then like the weird, have you guys seen this AI generated slop that's been posted on social media? And Facebook is like notorious for this, but it's these like AI pictures of like, you know, some old person, and they say like, oh, this person is like 145 today and nobody wished them a happy birthday. And it's like some AI generated picture of some like decrepit old guy who looks like the crypt keeper or something with a birthday cake with 145 or whatever on the candles. And I mean, it's like so egregiously bad. And unfortunately, there are still people who will comment and like, it's a happy birthday, you know. But anyway, so Facebook is now just ads all over the place. And one of the things that I try to get across when we're working with clients or when I'm talking to anybody about this kind of stuff is that just putting a normal ad, throwing something together in Canva and calling it a day is not going to work. That's not going to cut through, and you're just adding to the clutter. You have to have some sort of hook, and this goes back to giving people a reason to care. Because look, people don't buy products. People don't buy services. They buy feelings. They buy emotions. Yes, obviously, they are purchasing a product or a service, but at the end of the day, what differentiates you from the competition or someone selling a similar solution And it comes down to, how does someone feel when they walk away from an interaction with your company? And so, whether we're talking about in person, whether we're talking about when interacting with your website, when we're talking about interacting with your content on social media, how does that person feel when they walk away? I mean, and you think about, you know, this goes into, think about Coca-Cola, for instance. So yes, you are buying soda from Coca-Cola. That is the that is the product that they sell. When you put your money down on the counter, you are buying a can of Coke or bottle of Coke or whatever. I always preferred cans. I don't know why. I did go through a period when I was like maybe 13, 14, where I just drank nothing but bottles of Coke. But these days, if I got a Coke, I'd prefer a can. I don't know why. It's kind of weird. Anyway, you know, the whole thing with Coke is that you're buying happiness. You're buying community, you're buying friendship, you're buying joy and happiness, and everybody's holding hands, sharing Cokes around the world, and kumbaya, the world is wonderful. That is what they have built over decades of their marketing. They don't try to do anything slick, they just stay on message. I mean, yeah, some of their commercials obviously are slick, but they have the budget for something like that. But the overall core message is that Coke means happiness, Coke means family, Coke means friendship and community and peace and love and joy, and it's nonpartisan. It's not a political thing. There's no messaging. Although I do believe a couple years back there were some leaked memos and it did get kind of political, but you know, it's not about anything like that. They're not trying to do any kind of heavy-handed messaging. It's like, hey, look, have a Coke and a smile, right? And that's what they've stuck with. And so that's what they're selling. BMW and I would say Jaguar, except did you guys see the Jaguar brand implosion? I don't know if you guys follow this, but I do. And Jaguar went like full Zoolander mode and like redesigned their whole marketing around this weird acid 80s dream of like a fashion show nightmare. Like, I mean, it's so weird. It's so weird, and I don't know what convinced them to do that. I mean, you've got this iconic brand, and it's like high-end luxury cars, and you know, who is your core buyer? And you went and like just made it look like some weird Zoolander outtake. It's the strangest thing. But yeah, you have brands like BMW and these other luxury car makers, and so what are they selling? Yes, they are selling cars. And yes, it's like a nice car. It's a high-end car, but they're selling the lifestyle that comes along with that. If you're a BMW owner, or, you know, you own a Mercedes-Benz or a Porsche or something like that, yeah, you get a car and it's a nice car and it goes fast, whatever. But there are tons of other, you know, cars that are not nearly as expensive that can go fast as well. But they're selling the lifestyle. And that's what their marketing is all about. And I always use this example when I talk about what's the difference between sales and marketing. The difference is that sales tells you that the new BMW can go 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. The marketing tells you why you want to go 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. It's selling the emotion, it's selling the feeling. It's selling the desire, or it's building the desire. They call that demand generation, but you know, it's building the desire amongst the buying public and telling you why you want this product or service and what it's going to do for your life. And can you imagine yourself in this position using this product or service? And how is it going to make you like the person in the ad? How is it going to affect you in your social life or your family life or your career? All of those kinds of things factor in here. And so, how do we do that? How do we appeal to those feelings? And I already talked about how, yeah, you can have the flashiest, coolest, neatest ad out there, video ad, and it's spinning around in circles and doing all kinds of things, or some flashy print ad. But at the end of the day, it's about appealing to what matters to people. Now, there are universal things that matter to everybody, and then there are things that matter to specific people. I don't have anything to do with Dungeons and Dragons, but I'm sure people out there who play Dungeons and Dragons, there are things that matter to them in that game that wouldn't affect me in my life, and I couldn't tell you a single thing about them without researching it first. So those are the things where, yes, we need to appeal to things that are specific to your customers first and foremost, but don't neglect the overall things that matter to everybody. And those are things like peace and security and feeling good about making a purchase, feeling good about themselves, liking the way that they look, liking the way that they're perceived by others. Yeah, to a more or less extent, those things matter to everybody. Not everybody cares as much about what other people think about them, but everybody does to a certain extent. It's just human nature. And so knowing that, tie that into, I had a landscaper that I talked to one time about this, and I was explaining that it's not just about selling hardscaping and some paver patio dream outdoor kitchen, or actually, well, I take that back. It kind of is. It's not about the product, but it's about selling the idea of you're building a legacy for your family, so that later on, imagine gathering the family around and your outdoor kitchen and having a cookout, or your grandchildren playing in the backyard that has got a koi pond or something like that in it. You're building family memories, and you're inviting friends over and having laughs and conversations long into a summer evening. Those are the kinds of things where you're not selling the hardscaping, you're not selling the patio. Sure, that's the end product, but you're giving people a reason to care about doing business with you, that you're showing them that, hey, look, I get it. I know what you're after. And I don't have to hard sell you on this. And I'm not going to hard sell you on this, because I already know what you're after. So I would encourage you to do this in order to frame this a little bit better in your life. Think about, what is the last time that a brand, a company interaction made you remember the company itself? And maybe moreover, what's the last time that happened and made you then make a purchase decision in the future based on that? And I talked about this 1 or 2 episodes ago, where I talked about the zoo or aquarium or whatever it was, where they had the pause game on Facebook, where the seal was sliding by on a wet floor, and there was an outline of the seal on the screen, and your goal was to touch the screen, to hit pause on the video to catch the seal in the outline and stuff. And I said how, yeah, I thought that was a really cool piece of content, and it really stuck out to me, but I don't remember what the name of the zoo or aquarium was. And so, yeah, it was entertaining, and yeah, there was some engagement there. It was more like manipulative engagement, but nonetheless, it was entertaining and it was engaging. But I still don't recall what the name of the zoo or aquarium was. And so then, was it really that effective? I mean, we can use gimmicky kinds of things all day long, but are we really speaking to customers? Are we really touching on the things that matter to them? What is resonating with them? So think about the last time that a company that you've interacted with made that kind of impression on you. And going forward, I would just encourage you in your own marketing endeavors, or if you work with a agency like Charlotte Content Marketing, we will work with you to find what are those pain points, and what are the things that matter, what are the things that resonate with your customers, and touch on not just those things, but then also the overall human nature things that I just mentioned as well. So just some things to think about before you waste more time and money on Canva ads that get shown to basically nobody on social media, or you just throw money at ads on YouTube or anywhere else, Google ads, things like that. If you're not speaking to what matters to people, it doesn't matter what the ad looks like. If it's not speaking to people, it's not doing its job. If you would like to learn more about this topic or discuss your own marketing needs in the Charlotte area or beyond, we would be more than happy to have a discovery call with you to see if we're a good fit to work together and elevate your brand using a content-driven strategy. Content-driven growth is what we do at Charlotte Content Marketing. We'd be more than happy to talk with you. You can visit us online at charlottecontentmarketing.com. You can email us at hello@charlottecontentmarketing.com, and you can give us a call at 704-323-6762. And I want to thank you so much for joining me here on the Charlotte Content Marketing Podcast. Make sure to subscribe. We are on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, we're on Apple and Spotify. Apple and Spotify people, we are on YouTube. And so you can tune in here. We'd love for you to subscribe on all of the platforms where we can be found, so that you can stay up to date and we can stay in touch. And everybody have a Coke and a smile. So once again, my name is Andrew Rusnak with Charlotte Content Marketing. This has been the Charlotte Content Marketing Podcast. I want to thank you so much for tuning in, and I will catch you in